So, the first thing would be you have to be very, very, very strong. Creative, definitely you have to be. You have to be. Uh, the first thing is you have to be very strong because it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes, at times, it takes ages to reach, where you want to begin from. And I started when I was 21, and I got trained under Mr. Dinen Gupta. He was my first guru, and I got trained in Calcutta. And then I kept working there. Uh, I then after that I got trained under Mr. Anupam Kher in Bombay, and I was working in Calcutta. I was working in Bombay. I was traveling between both the cities. I was also doing theater. In between, I also started my academy, and so everything was happening together, and the experience together uh, got me here today.
All right. So, how were the things like, when you basically thought that you want to become an actor, Mrs. Singh? What are the things that you basically persuaded in terms of your education and, of course, your own skill set? How did you go about with it?
See, I will start with my family. My mother has been teaching since 51 years now, right? And she has been into cultural activities and everything else, right? So I think before I was born, I had this in me. And I remember I was in lower nursery when I became Krishna for the first time, and I somehow liked it. I've grown up seeing mama working for the students and creating and conceiving and conceptualizing ideas for her school, for other schools. So I think it started long back. And then I think while I was growing up, the kind of atmosphere I got in my school or where I grew up in Calcutta, I think that made me inclined towards not just acting. I would say it was stage initially. I used to love dancing, I used to love singing, I used to love uh, acting, I used to love writing. So now, if you ask me, I've grown up doing all that, you know. And if I talk about my shows, where my shows of my academy, the annual concerts, which I used to conceive and conceptualize, I used to choreograph, I used to do the costumes, I used to work for the sponsorships, I used to do everything. And I think it is very important for an actor to not only just know acting, but also to know how other things work out, right? How technicians work, because you have to be technically very strong when you want to get into acting. You can't eat your co-actors light, and there are so many other things which you have to take care of. So I would say acting is not that easy, and you have to give yourself to acting. You can't just one fine day think that, oh, I want to become an actor, I should go and become an actor. That doesn't happen. The chance happens suddenly, but you grow gradually. Slowly you grow.
Right. As an individual, Mr. Singh, what are the prerequisites that somebody needs to have? Like, for instance, you had a calling that, you want to be an actor. A lot of kids do have that, but then they do not really know how to identify that. So what would you say would be, the required prerequisites for an individual?
The first thing would be, you know, they should they should be ready to face challenges. And when I say challenges, it is not about getting a character or getting a role or not getting a role or getting work or not getting a work. It's about uh, to be ready to understand different characters every day, to get onto the shoes of a person you have never known, because acting is playing different characters every day. You can't be Jaideep Singh and be doing different characters. You have to be Jaideep Singh has to be a different character. Like right now, the character I am playing for this show I'm doing is called Sangram Khurana, who is a very cunning guy, which I am not. So initially, it took me a couple of days when we started shooting after the lockdown. It took me a
Right.
couple of days to actually understand what our creative team was wanting out of us. On the contrary, when I was playing a brigadier for Satyamev Jayate for Z5, which was uh, directed by Arindam Seal, I was pretty sure about what I wanted to do and what the character was, because I was playing a brigadier, and I met a couple of people who were working, for the web series, and we sat and we discussed, and we met, one of the brigadiers from Calcutta, and he was retired, so he gave me a brief. So what I'm trying to say is, you have to get really deep into it. You have to really understand that each day will be a new day. Each day, the character will have a different layer, right?
Absolutely. Mr. Singh, you have been there with acting for so many years now, and you also have an academy of your own. What were your best moments, of being an actor? And of course, what has been your challenges? Any such moments if you want to share with all students here today and all of us?
Right. I would definitely share it. So it was 2 years back when Mrs. Sharmila Tagore was there for my academy's annual concert, and I was happy that she was impressed and she was happy being there. So once we requested her to come over the stage, and we wanted to felicitate her. All of a sudden, she knew that this is my academy. I am the director. I do everything, but she did not know about me doing everything. Right. So she asked me. She said, "Who is the choreographer?" I said, "I." She said, "Who did the costumes?" And it was like, "I." And then slowly I told her, and the appreciation she gave, it was so pure and it was so positive, and it was such a big push to me, because however strong you are, however experienced you are, coming from a person like Sharmila Tagore, right, it adds on a different feeling to your hard work you have put into. uh, the most difficult moment was when I was very happy, because I was 21. I was doing my first telefilm. It was supposed to come on ETV Bangla, and they were like 40, 45 Bengali guys, and I was the only Sardar guy auditioning for that lead's character. And after I got finalized, there were a lot of guys who were upset, and they were talking outside the studio in Bengali that, why a Sardar guy has been, finalized as the lead guy, you know. And as a 21 year old, got very hurt. I went to the director and I said that, sir, people are saying this. And he said, who are people to decide, Jaideep? Why are you so heartbroken? And, if at the age of 2021, you are taking them so seriously, how do you think you are going to go ahead in this field? Because you guys have to have a thick skin if you want to be an actor, and if you want to continue acting, and if you pay heed to what each and every individual is telling you, I don't think you will be able to go ahead for a very long time. And I took it as a guru mantra. And even today, when people talk wrong about me or my work or the show we are doing or the kind of projects I have done, you know, uh, I tell myself that this comes with the profession we are in, and we just need to move ahead.
Lovely. What about, some moments when you basically thought that I could have been into some other profession, but then not an actor anymore? Did you have any such situations in life, Mrs. Singh?
Yes, I was. It wasn't my mistake. I was in Calcutta, and I had got finalized for a project which I cannot name.
Right.
Uh, and it was the casting department's mistake that
Okay.
they thought. I told them that I'm in Calcutta. They thought I'm in
Mhm.
Bombay. They
Right.
finalized me, and at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they told me that we are shooting at 10 o'clock in this studio in Bombay. So I said that, have you lost it? I'm in Calcutta. And they were like, oh sir, we don't know, that's your problem, now everything is finalized, we want you here. And that was it was a cyclone coming that day, in Calcutta. So I was like, I don't even know whether my flight will take off or not. And I can't tell you, I took a flight, those 3 hours, that was the only flight which took off from Calcutta to Bombay. Those 3 hours were the scariest 3 hours, because I never wanted a shoot to stop because of me. I never wanted a reason for people to suffer. And once I reached the studio, there was an argument between uh, the producer and the casting people, and I was sitting there quiet because they were fighting amongst each other. And I was so upset that day that, why? Because of communication gap, this is happening. i
Yes.
don't i don't want to see people fighting. I don't want to be a part of something. And it was really dirty. It was not a small thing. it made me feel so weird, so bad that I was like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. If people fight like this, I don't want to do it. But that very night, after the shooting got over at 4:30 in the morning, I could see everybody smiling. The producer came up to me and he was like, don't feel bad about anything. Don't take anything, negative back home. It was between us. It was our miscoordination. The coordination was not well and this and that. So there has been incidents. This was really scary because you can imagine 3 hours in the flight and you're thinking that what if my flight doesn't land on time and the shoot gets stopped. It's not happening, right? So yeah.
That's so lovely to hear, Mr. Singh. Thank you so much for sharing with us such great experiences that you've had. And I can
Yeah.
see in the chat box quite a few of students have already put in those questions. Maybe I can read out to you.
Sure, please.
Mr. Singh, one of the students have in fact written, I have a passion of acting. How will I be getting into Bollywood? What is the basic steps towards Bollywood or acting?
uh you don't have to act, you have to be real and you have to give your best. And I would say start watching films from a different perspective. um, Start working on yourself. uh, be more human because the more you are, the more the human you are, the more you'll understand the characters, right? And it's all about playing characters. Yeah,
Right.
it's not difficult, but it's not easy.
Got it. Absolutely. I'm sure, Ashmit, who was actually asking this question, is happy with the answer. The next question would be by Viraj. He's asking you, Mr. Singh, I want to ask that there is any other institute for acting rather than NSD, which is good, and how can we start up our acting career in Bollywood? Very related again. Even can we start up with television to grow and hop into Bollywood, as I desperately want to pursue acting in Bollywood?
Sure. So definitely NSD and FTII, we look up to both the institutes. Uh, I am trained under Mr. Anupam Kher at Actor Prepares. I was a student in 2008. Um, Besides that, we also have Barry Jones Academy. We have a lot of other institutes in Bombay where you can groom yourself, where you can train yourself. And uh, see, a lot of people from TV have come to films, and a lot of people who have also done films and TV simultaneously. So it's not
Right.
a difficult thing. You only need to understand how you want to balance it. Like I
Mm-hmm.
cannot name the production house or the film I'm talking about, which I have been shortlisted for. This got I got shortlisted in March, but after that the lockdown happened. It's a big film, but since
Right.
I'm doing a show right now, I don't know how I'm going to balance both the things and keep the shoots on, because for me this show is more important, the one I'm doing right now for Colors, because it's a
Right.
daily soap. And what I'm trying to say is if you know how to balance it, I'm sure you'll be able to take care of it.
Thank you so much. So I have another question for you, and this is, I'm sure, a lot of students would be interested in knowing about this. This will be two of them. One would be post-pandemic. Where do you think that the acting industry is suffering, or whether it's going to be a good, way into it? How do you basically define it more?
Sorry, I just missed.
In the sense, any challenges which can be there post-pandemic, or there are different other avenues which can come in.
See,
So,
there are a lot of challenges because if I tell you, we started shooting on the 27th of June. That was the very first day after the pandemic that we started shooting.
right,
Uh, our production house, Balaji Telefilms, has taken all the necessary steps, and even Ekta Kapoor, she made sure that we are all taken care of, all the necessary precautions were taken care of. But at the end of the day, you get scared because from your place to the studio, or coming back from the studio to your own place, and however uh, uh, sure you are about yourself, you're meeting people. Like there were no hugging scenes, there were no, like, even if I'm talking to my son is getting
yes,
married, I can't hug him because we can't do that. There are other scenes where it was it I was there was a scene with Vibha Chhabbar ma'am, where I'm supposed to hug her in the end. So I was told that, Jaideep, just keep your hand. She's playing my mother. But once you are in the flow of saying dialogues, I just had to say कि माते बेटे तो तेरे ही है ना. So you can't do माते बेटे तो तेरे ही है ना. So I wanted, and I when I hugged her, I realized that it's not the
Yes,
same anymore. So
that's right.
serials also, daily soaps also, even ad shoots. I did an ad some days back.
Hmm.
So see, show we are very sure it's our production house. We know everyone. We know how sure they are about the precautions. But when you're doing a one-day shoot, you question them a lot. You question yourself a lot. Whether should I be doing it or not? Whether are they taking precautions or not? Right. So post-pandemic, there are a lot of changes. There are a lot of things which has happened. We can't. There can't be extra people on the set. I'm talking about
Right.
extra juniors because they add on a lot of life to the scenes. So we just did
Yes.
a wedding scene in our show where we just showed 7 to 8 people, just our family, right? So
Yes.
a lot of difficulties. Creative people are having, like creative heads are having a difficult time writing the script.
So wonderful. I'm sure all the students have had all their answers solved and they're so happy, just like us. We're so excited to have you here today.
Thank you so much.
And before you exit, Mr. Singh, it will be lovely if you can actually put across a message for all the aspiring actors in this forum today.
Uh, be hardworking, be real, um, be ready to face challenges with a big, big, big smile, and you know keep upgrading yourself. Watch a lot of good stuff. Because uh, when I say good stuff, I'm talking about world cinema. I'm talking about cinema from our own country. I'm talking about something which adds on to your uh, you know your your experience,
Right.
right? And never stop learning. Never think that अरे मेरा हो गया, I've learned it. मेरा हो
Yes.
गया, मुझे और सीखने की जरूरत नहीं. That's where your growth will stop.
Right.
Grow
Right.
on, go on, and grow on. That's what I can say.
Thank you so much. It's indeed a great pleasure
Thank
for
you so
our
much.
entire team EduGuide today and definitely EduFair 3.0 to host you. We are very happy, and it's such a pleasure for me to, in fact, in conversation with you. It is definitely my starstruck moment as well, and I'm
Thank
really
you, ma'am.
thoroughly
Thank you.
enjoying it. So lovely to meet you, Mr.
Yes,
Singh.
ma'am. Just one thing, there have been a lot of questions which I can even see now. Popping
Yes,
up.
yes,
Yes.
yes. Would
You
you
can
like to address
request.
them now, Mr. Singh? I
Uh,
will
you,
just,
you can
yes,
just request the kids if they really want to understand things properly.
mhm,
My Insta ID is officially Jaideep, right?
sure.
They can DM me. It's officially Jaideep, and we can take it ahead from there. I see, as a teacher, I've been working all over India with different schools. I
Yes.
am I am the happiest when I'm with students, right?